Auto Mais, um oferecimento Pneu Store, seu guia em direção ao pneu certo. Acesse pneustore.com.br.
Para você que gosta de automobilismo, espaço aberto para velocidade aqui no Auto Mais. E eu quero te convidar a partir de agora para acompanhar uma entrevista exclusiva que eu tive a chance de fazer com o Lewis Hamilton durante a passagem dele aqui pelo Brasil. Olha, tem muita coisa legal, hein? Hamilton vai falar do Brasil, Hamilton vai falar também da relação dele com a Mercedes, do que esperar da briga entre ele e George Russell no ano que vem. É agora no Auto Mais.
This is the closest that I've ever been to Ayrton, and knowing that he, the presence that he had here, everywhere we would drive, you'll see the flag, you'll see paintings of him on the side of the road, across the city, and then obviously when you come to the track, you see all Ayrton fans, and so I felt it was very emotional. And the first year I wanted to go and visit his graveyard, but I was being followed all the time, obviously. So I wanted it to be more of a private thing, so I did it in 2008 instead. But yeah, it's and it's also been a real journey with the Brazilian fans, because I was racing a Brazilian in the first year, and so I was the enemy.
I can say to you that our strong enemies now are the Germans in football, so stay cool. Everything is fine with you. My first question is also about Brazil. You have raced against some very talented Brazilian drivers in your junior career, like Nelson Piquet Jr. and Lucas de Grassi, especially in the GP2 in 2006. Was that the hardest battle you had in your road to Formula One?
No, I think every battle is different, but yeah, I mean, it's no secret that Brazil has a huge amount of talented sportsmen and women in every category, right? You've got amazing football players, amazing athletes from the Olympics, you've got the best surfers here, and so there's a lot of skill here, and you've obviously had a whole history of great drivers come through over the years. So yeah, I've had great races on the track, particularly before I got to Formula One, but also with Rubens, for example. Yeah, I'm excited to see the next up and coming driver that you get. But even for example, Lucas, for example, he's had an incredible, a really great career, especially with Formula E. He continues to do amazing things there, so yeah.
Lewis, one of the most amazing battles that we have seen was your fight with Nico Rosberg in 2016. Do you believe you will face a similar challenge with George Russell joining the team in 2022?
George is an incredibly talented driver. He's hugely driven. He's obviously worked with the team before, so I anticipate it's going to be, a great teammate, and I think he's got a solid head on his shoulders, and as I said, because he's had the relationship with the team, I think he will integrate very quickly, and I think we will have to work as a team to be able to beat our competitors, and then there's going to be that internal battle that we have between each other, but I think we can always keep it respectful. I truly believe we can. And yeah, of course, since I've had those experiences in the past, I think that we can deploy that working relationship in a much better way this time.
Lewis, I believe one of the keys to your success is your continued work with Mercedes. In such a long partnership, how do you avoid any kind of problems in that relationship? That it's quite normal if you are working for a company for so long time. How do you avoid to have problems in this relationship?
I think it's not always been perfect, and it's been about relationship building, it's been about trust, it's been about having open dialogue, open conversation, and I think the relationships got stronger and stronger over time. I like to think that I hopefully am a good representative of Mercedes and AMG and all of our partners. And I think it's really just been about, as I said, just having the common goal, but also being aware of all the other things that we can do to positively influence the brand, the people that are in love with the brand, young people that are buying the cars, and making sure that we're also having a positive effect on society.
Lewis, you were the first black driver in Formula One history, and you are currently engaged in several campaigns for diversity and also to end the racism. But how much has this scenario changed in motorsport up until now, and how long do you think we will have to wait to see a black driver again in Formula One when you leave the sport?
So we're at the beginning of change, right? There's been a lot of discussions, there's been a lot of talk, and now we are really trying to work on real action. So particularly with us as a team, we've gone from 3% diversity to I think it's nearly 7% now. We've got the Accelerate 25 that the team have put together, so in the next 5 years they're looking to get to 25% of hiring from people from diverse backgrounds. So it's going to take time. Ending racism is a much longer process, and that's not really, I guess, ultimately my current goal. I think it starts with education, and there's a lot of that needs to change throughout the world. And you know, because it is still instilled in so many countries, within communities, and within the cultures, and there's a lot of work that needs to change there. For example, in England, just having Black history on the curriculum would be a step forwards. But in terms of a driver, the next driver of color, I think when me and my family started, we really were hopeful that by us being there, representation is naturally very much key, I think, around the world in all sorts of job positions. So we were hoping that by us being there, we would encourage the next youngsters from different backgrounds to come through. Unfortunately, Formula One is getting more and more, racing is getting more and more expensive, and we need to work on how we can change that and make it more accessible for people from normal backgrounds. So that's probably another part of the job that I will try to see if I can tackle whilst I'm here and even beyond. But I'm pretty sure initially you're not going to see another me for a while. But what's I think been more important for me is making sure that when people are watching the TV, when people are seeing the pit stops and the teams there, they're seeing women, they're seeing people from different communities. So representation is key, right? Even when we're standing on the front of the grid, seeing people from different backgrounds, I think is really key. So young kids watching know that there's also a role for them there within the sport.